Am I the asshole for calling my sister cruel for putting her disabled son in a nursing home? My sister is a widow with 3 kids, 10, 12, and Adam, 15. My brother-in-law passed away in a car accident 3 years ago with Adam in the car, and Adam became disabled. My sister used to stay at home and receive benefits, but recently started looking for a job. We as a family had no idea. We always tell her to come to us if she needed help, but she's been very distant lately. Last week, she visited my parents to make an announcement. Everyone was there when she announced that she arranged for Adam to go live in a nursing home. This was a shock. My heart literally sunk. I can't even imagine how Adam must have felt to suddenly find himself away from home and his family. His sisters were crying, begging their mom to let Adam stay and they'll take care of him. My dad lost it on her. He berated her for treating Adam as if he has no attachments to his home, siblings and grandparents, and weekly visits with family because of his disability. He started crying, saying she took all that away from us and made a selfish decision and ripped their grandson away from his family just for a job. Mom and brother disagreed, saying what she did was inevitable and she's already given Adam enough. And she had the right to do what she did since she has other kids to look after and her position as a single mom was hard enough. I had an argument with my sister. She refused to let me speak, saying it's her son and she decides. I called her cruel and heartless to her face for uprooting her child like that and taking him away from home and sisters when he's already dealing with so much. She lashed out, saying, I don't get to judge her when she's feeling stuck and overwhelmed, having to care for Adam while trying to raise her other kids and work. I said she could have come to us for help, but she told me off, saying she's already given Adam 3 years of care, time, and money, and she couldn't do it anymore. She added that she can't miss this job opportunity and a nursing home would be better for Adam's needs, and the family can visit him anytime they want. But as a mother, how can you say I gave enough and stop caring for your child all of a sudden? My husband said, do something, get funding or something, because no matter how my sister tries to convince us that Adam is healthier and happier there, she basically abandoned him and took him away from his family. My sister told me to back off since I have it easy with my perfect kids. My dad kicked her out after she accused me of being judgmental and turning the family against her. So, am I the asshole for calling my sister cruel for putting her disabled son in a nursing home? Am I the asshole for accidentally upsetting my niece by saying her mom's life would be better if she wasn't born? To summarize, I, 32 female, got into an argument over something ridiculous, and now everyone's mad at me. When my sister, 26 female, was 17, she got pregnant and had a baby girl. Obviously, since she was young, she wasn't exactly ready to raise a kid, but my family did the best we could to help her out. She currently has a stable job and is living with her child and the child's father in their own apartment. The issue is that since she had the baby so young, she never got to really experience her life. I am child-free and am always enjoying new life experiences, and I know my sister is jealous of me for it. The other day, I came over for her daughter's birthday party, and we were talking about her as a baby. At one point, we started to argue about how she was raised, and I said, don't you ever think your life would have been better if she had never been born? It turns out her daughter was in earshot of this, so she heard everything and she got really upset. My sister got defensive and said that her child was the best thing to ever happen to her. She called me an asshole and kicked me out of the party. She blocked my number and she won't talk to me at all now. My mom is saying I should apologize, but my dad agrees with me on this and says my sister was overreacting. Maybe I was a bit too aggressive when I said it, but I know what I said is true. So, am I the asshole for accidentally upsetting my niece by saying her mom's life would be better if she were never born? Am I the asshole for walking out in the middle of my boyfriend's birthday party? I, 25 female, have been with my boyfriend, male, 28, of 3 years. Our relationship is great and we rarely fight. His birthday was a few days ago. I wanted to do something together, but his parents already decided to host the party at their house. My boyfriend got there first. I showed up after I got off work and he was there with the guests, busy talking and greeting in the backyard. I took a seat in the back and his sister showed up with her husband and son, Jake. We're not on good terms, by the way. She said hi, then asked if I could watch her son, Jake, and I was like, but she disappeared and left her kid with me before I could even answer. So I decided to just keep an eye on him till she gets back since he was sitting across from me. I accidentally spilled my drink on my top, which was messy. I gave Jake my phone to play on it and asked him to sit still till I get back. Then I went to use the bathroom to clean up the stain. Clearly, Jake walked towards the pool and the floor was slippery, so he slipped and fell and injured his knee. That's when I heard a loud noise coming from outside, like people panicking. I went to see what's going on and saw my boyfriend and his family with Jake. I heard my boyfriend's dad ask who was supposed to be watching Jake, and his sister said my name. My boyfriend saw me and shouted, "Where the hell have you been? How could you let this happen?" I was taken aback. I said I was in the bathroom cleaning up the stain. He asked, "Is the stain more important than my nephew?" I explained that his family or his mother should have kept an eye on him. He said there are many guests, so they probably didn't notice, and said I should stop turning this around on his family since I agreed to watch Jake. I said no, I did not intentionally agree to watch Jake and came to the party as a guest, not a babysitter, and that his sister just dumped him on me and disappeared without even waiting to hear if I was going to say no. We had an argument and I got fed up being presented with a hypothetical scenario after a hypothetical scenario of what could have happened if Jake fell inside the pool and was blamed to no end. So I grabbed my stuff and I walked out. My boyfriend's parents saw me leave and he followed to wait and return, but I refused. He said I have no reason to be upset, but more reason to be worried, just like they all were, and insisted I go back inside. But I got in my car and I left. He came back later looking pissed. He said that yes, while it might have been his sister's fault for still bringing her son after he stated he didn't want kids there because of the pool, but said I ruined the party by walking out and refusing to take responsibility and admit I should have made sure Jake was safe before leaving him out of my sight, whether I agreed to watch him or not. He said his parents are rightfully upset and didn't appreciate my behavior earlier on, then walking out, which hurt him on a personal level, since his birthday should mean something to me. I feel like he might be right, and I might have mishandled this entire situation. So, am I the asshole for walking out in the middle of my boyfriend's birthday party? Also, side note, Jake is 4 years old. Am I the asshole for policing my wife's caffeine intake? My wife and I are in our 30s. We're married for 2 years. My wife frequently likes to have a cup of coffee in the evening, 2 hours before going to bed. I have observed that this makes her settle into bed more slowly. I have mentioned this to her many times. She has a chronic pain condition, which is probably impacted by the caffeine intake, making it harder for her to do routine things, leaving me to pick up the slack. When I've mentioned it, she says her doctor does not believe caffeine intake affects her condition. That's not really my point. It's more about her overall health being impaired by less restful sleep. This week, I decided our household will be caffeine free, and I discarded the coffee machine and the pods. I told my wife that if she'd like to drink coffee, she should get one from the cafe on her way to work. This is not a financial hardship, and I rarely drink coffee in the home anyway. My wife has been very mad at me for policing a habit she enjoys and considers harmless. I noticed that she has gone to bed more smoothly since the coffee left the home. But as she continues to be angry and short with me, I'm beginning to wonder if I went overboard. So am I the asshole for policing my wife's caffeine intake? For getting rid of my partner's dog? I have never liked dogs. I think they're loud and annoying. However, when I met my significant other, I was willing to put these feelings aside since they had an elderly pup. We moved in together a little under a year ago, and I brought my cat. We had both agreed that we wouldn't get any pets after our animals passed. Unfortunately, their dog passed away about a month ago. Cut to about 2 weeks ago, and my partner decides to get a new puppy without letting me know. Apparently, it's a German Shepherd Pug mix that they found on Craigslist. I was furious and told them that I didn't want another dog in our house. They told me it was unfair that I still had my cat and that they were lonely. Then they told me that they couldn't return it, so it would just have to stay. After contacting the seller myself and being told the same thing, I finally relented. I absolutely hate this dog. It was loud, untrained, and constantly making messes. My partner did try their best to train it, but I didn't see any progress. I finally had enough after coming home only to see that the dog ripped my stuffed Care Bear to shreds. I have had it ever since I was a little kid. And despite how immature it sounds, I have trouble sleeping without it close by. I was furious. Here's where I think I may be the asshole. I contacted a few friends and coworkers and eventually found someone who would take it. I loaded it up in my car with its cage, bowls, toys, and other accessories and dropped it off at this person's house. I did feel guilty, but I wanted the dog gone. My partner found out and was livid. They told me it was their dog and I had no right to do this. I fired back that my name is on the lease and I could do what I want. They stormed out, I'm guessing to go get the dog back, and I'm sitting here now feeling extremely guilty. On one hand, I think what I did was justified since I've never had a choice in the matter. But on the other hand, I realized that they did pay for everything and that I need to make compromises in this relationship. So, was I the asshole?